All right, so welcome back to another video, guys. Welcome back to another episode, guys. This is going to be one of the ones that you need because, listen, if you're a small business owner, pay attention. This is going to be the top things that you must have before walking into any bank, whether you're going for any business credit cards, business lines of credit, business loan, business checking account. You must have everything that I'm about to share with you guys in order so that way you do not look like a business that doesn't know what you're doing. Why would you go into banks without having some kind of plan, right? You need to make sure that you have this checklist in order so that way you are going in and you're not wasting, number one, your time, number two, the banker's time, number three, your money, because now guess what? You're wasting your time by taking time to go out to the bank. Number two, you're wasting the banker's time because now they schedule an appointment with you for your business. Meanwhile, they could have been taking another appointment with another business owner. And number three, you're wasting your gas because you took the time to go out to the bank. And now everything is all discombobulated and everything is all out of order. Kind of think of it, if you were going to do a procedure on your hip or your legs, would you want a doctor that doesn't know what he's doing? He doesn't have a checklist. He doesn't have his utensils. He doesn't have everything that he needs to perform the surgery successfully. Or would you rather a doctor that has everything in order, all the boxes are checked, and everything looks good, right? For me, if I'm going under anesthesia and I'm about to perform a procedure, that doctor must have everything in place. And this is why you need to pay attention to this video, because you're a small business owner, you need funding, and you're going to the banks and you need to look like you are established. So I'm going to clear everything up, and listen, stay to the end. I'm going to give you guys something for free that you will benefit from, but only if you stay to the end. I will share this with you. So now, first things first is before you go into the bank, here's a checklist that you want to build out, right? And this is exactly what I do for my clients. This is exactly what helps the process to be able to go so smoothly and so easily. So that way it's not, a back and forth process. This thing can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks sometimes. This thing, instead of 2 to 4 weeks, you can cut down the time frame of getting funding for your business by having all of these things in order and readily accessible. So first things first, we're going to talk about credit. So credit is one of the factors you need to check out before you walk into the bank. And you can probably mark this one good credit, right? You need to have good credit before you walk into any bank. So now, we're going to break this thing down into a few other categories under good credit. So you got good credit up here, and then you got 1, 2, 3. These are the different categories. So good credit, right? Under good credit is you need to have a 700 plus credit score. So now when I say a 700 plus credit score, this is actually the credit score that's more favorable for you to be able to get funding, right? And typically bankers might tell you, hey, listen, the minimum credit score is actually a 680 credit score. But what I like to recommend is if they only have $100,000 and you're the last two businesses that's filling out an application, more than likely they're going to go with the person that has the 700 credit score. It's just reality. And I don't want to be too close to be too counted out, right? So now 700 credit score. The next thing is you want to have, once you review your credit score, you want to have 0 late payments within the past 24 months. So now if you're going through your credit report and you see a late payment, that can slow you down from having funding, right? So now 0 late payments. The next thing under this category is 0 derogatory accounts or negative items, right? So negative items can be anything like a bankruptcy, a charge off, a repossession, a foreclosure, medical debt, student loan delinquency. All of those accounts are falling under this section right here, which is no collections, no derogatory accounts, no negative items. So when it comes to good credit, those are the 3 components that you want to follow, right? So now the next thing is on your checklist is you want to have a bank plan. So when I say bank plan, the first thing under that category is number 1, you want to know what bank that you're going to, right? Understand this, not all banks are going to offer you a business loan or a business line of credit or even a business credit card. Some banks only offer personal accounts. So you might be banking with, let's just say, for example, you might be banking with, let's just say, MCU, which is Municipal Credit Union. Municipal Credit Union probably only offers, or let me take it a step back. Here's a quick story and example, right? Let's just say, for example, you've been banking with MCU, which is Municipal Credit Union, for the past 10, 15 years. This is the account that you've been using since you got out of high school. Guess what? Not all banks offers business products. So you can't say, hey, listen, I'm going to walk into my bank. I've been banking with them for the past 15 years. They're going to give me a business credit card. Meanwhile, they don't offer any business credit cards. So now under your bank plan is you need to go to a bank that offer the business credit, the business product that you are looking for. So now this is where you do your research. You write down the bank name and then you check, do they offer things that you want? Do you want a business credit card? Are you looking for a business loan, business line of credit? Are you looking for an auto loan? This is what you need to do on your checklist. Write down the bank's name and see, do they offer the things that you're looking for, right? The next thing is after you understand what some of the products that you might need for your business is you need to find out the requirements, right? Some banks, some of their requirements is, hey, listen, in order for us to give you a business credit card, we require that you've been in business for the past 2 years. We require that you have 2 years of tax returns. We require that you have 3 months of financial banking statements and also a profit and loss statement. If you don't have these things, you should not be going to those kind of banks, right? So this is where you start understanding, hey, listen, do they have what I need? Do they have what I want? Do they offer anything that I need or even want? Right? So that's a part of your bank plan. So just to recap, bank plan is first thing first, write down the bank. Number 2, under that category is you want to find out what some of the products that they offer. Is it favorable for you? Do they have business lines of credit? Do they have business loans? Do they have business credit cards? Whatever the thing is that whatever the product is that you're looking for. And the last thing is, what is the requirements? Some might say, hey, listen, we do no documentation. And they will say it word for word on their websites. So these are the things that you need to look at before you walk into the bank, right? The next thing is have an LLC. This is one of the things that you must have on your checklist. A lot of times business owners have, they've been servicing business and they've been servicing their customers, but they never took the time to register their business with the state. So what you want to do is make sure that you register your business with the state, have that LLC next to your name, and make sure that things are official so that way you can qualify for business funding. One thing that you need to make sure to have is an operating agreement. An operating agreement is basically an agreement that you might have, whether it might be internal, if you're a single member LLC or you're a 2-person LLC, a 3-person LLC, it doesn't matter. You need to have an operating agreement. This is basically a description of what's your role in the business and what you're going to be doing when it comes to servicing and growing this business. The next thing after that is you want to make sure that you have an EIN, right? You need to have the document from the IRS of exactly what your EIN number is. That is something that they will ask for. Another thing is when you're going into the banks is you must have identification. So you need to either have a state ID, a driver's license, or a passport, right? These are the things that you must bring into the branch for you to be able to get approved for that business product, whether it's a business credit card, business line of credit, business checking account, business savings account. You must bring these documents. The next thing is you need to do a little bit of research on your business. This is where I like to call the NAICS code for your business. This is a classification of what your business fall under, right? So now they're going to be asking you questions. Hey, listen, what's your NAICS code? Have you done that research, right? And they're going to be asking you things like that because they want to know whether your business is in a high risk industry that they don't lend to, or a restricted industry that they probably, it's a little bit iffy whether they might lend to it or not. So you need to do a research on your NAICS code. And how you do the research is you go to NAICS.com. So that's NAICS.com. So that way you can pull up and find your NAICS code, right? But one thing that I would suggest is go all the way down to the bottom of that website and then click on the button that says high risk industries, right? Once you find that list, it'll show you, hey, listen, these are all the restricted industries that banks typically despise lending to. So that means that they will not offer you a business line of credit. They will not offer you a business checking account. And it makes your life of getting funding very difficult. So find your NAICS code. Make sure it's not a high risk NAICS code, right? The next thing is when you're going into the bank, you must bring your social security card, right? That's one of the things that they're going to be asking for. You need to have that to be, displayed so that way you can give it to them without a question. They're going to ask for it. The next thing is I want to prepare you guys mentally. So you can even put this on your checklist. Prepare yourself mentally. And there's 4 questions that the bank is going to ask you. Number 1, they're going to ask you, why do you need the funding, right? You need to be able to have a clear answer of why you need the funding. If you tell them something that sounds a little bit iffy, sounds a little bit off, more than likely they won't give you the funding. So you need to have this answer before you walk into that bank. Number 2, how much are you requesting, right? They're going to be asking you, how much money do you need? Do you need 10,000, 20,000, 100,000? What are you asking for, right? Number 3 is, how will the funding grow your business, right? Do you need it for payroll? Do you need it for marketing? Do you need it for a campaign? What is your reason for getting funding, right? They're going to be asking you for these kind of detailed, questions, and they need to have an answer. The last thing that they typically will ask you is, what is your business income, right? Your projected business income. What are you projected to make after you get this funding, right? So now you need to know the number. What is your projected income for the business revenue? The next thing is they're going to ask you for your personal income, how much money you're making. That all determines what's the amount they're going to approve you for. So now that is the entire checklist of what is going to be needed when you are going into the banks. So listen, I hope you learned something for this video, but what I wanted to do was, I'm also a visual learner and I like to take notes as well. So what I went ahead and did was I created a guide for you guys so that way you can go ahead and have these things in order, and all you got to do is just check the boxes off to make sure that you're ready to go into the bank, you're ready to get this funding. Again, if you're walking into the banks and everything looks crazy, they're not going to lend to you. You look unstable. They're going to have in the back of their mind, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy doesn't know exactly what he needs funding for. We're more than likely going to deny him or give him a very, very small limit because you look like a risk to the bank, right? This is something serious. When you're going for funding, you're borrowing funds and it needs to be paid back. Understand, business funding is a tool. It is not a game. It is not a casino. This is not a slot machine. This is a tool that you would use to grow your business. So go ahead and download this PDF down below. I wanted to share with you guys so that way you are going into the banks and you are looking like a spiffy young man or young woman ready to get some funding and ready to turn up their business and change their lives for their family. Go ahead and get that link, that ebook down below. It is free. I didn't want to charge you guys for it. I want to make sure that you guys are walking into the bank and walking out with the funds. See you guys on the next video. All right, so here's a quick announcement before I have our guests introduce themselves. A lot of people that are watching this channel is more than likely small business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are looking to change their lives and make a lot of money for themselves. So now, one thing that I realize is there's stats out there proving that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners fail because they have lack of capital. So what I decided to do was, I thought it was only right that I start having free classes every single Monday on our YouTube channel on the Motion and Success page every single Monday at 7 p.m. live in direct, where you'd be able to have your questions answered live. And this is literally a breakdown showing you exactly of how you can get funding for your small business. So if you're looking for business credit cards, business loans, business lines of credit, any kinds of funding, this is the live that you want to tune into. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and put it on your calendar. Every Monday at 7 p.m. we are going live, showing you step by step about exactly how to get funding for your small business. See you guys on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.